Welcome to Sanctum. You're listening to the 100 podcast, a show about CW sci-fi series The 100. I'm Daniel Prime.
Hallowed be his name, and I'm Olga, the One Crew Warrior. Today, we're discussing Season 7, Episode 3, entitled
False Gods.
The Falsest.
The falsest. I'm a false god. I'm not really Daniel Prime.
And One Crew is gone crew, so...
No mo crew.
Done crew.
So this is our first reactions podcast where we just watched the episode for the first time. We have our immediate reactions, our gut reactions, which sometimes screw us over because people get upset. But this time...
I don't know what you're talking about.
This time will be better. And then we do our longer audio podcasts that go live, usually Mondays, and these go up the same night as the episodes of the show. So I'm going to start.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was a good episode. I had some issues with it, but it got better as it went on, I felt like.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the kind of episode that, I feel like there's going to be a lot of varied opinions on it. Because, I ended up enjoying it because it had a lot to do with Raven, Murphy, and Amori, all of who I really enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the dynamic of Clark and Gaia, which I know is obviously going to be divisive. So I got a lot of things I enjoyed in this episode. And ultimately, I also kind of enjoyed Russell Shadehedda.
When you put Shadehedda in a great actor's hands...
Yeah. Well, it's not even just that you're putting him in a great actor's hands. It's that
you're taking him out of the hands of the other guy.
I was going to say that they actually had him be intelligent. It's not like it was the grandest master plan of all time, but he did get a cookie at the end. So it had to be a pretty good plan if he got a cookie.
Cookie points, yeah.
He saved his own life and he got a cookie.
And literally the episode ends with him smirking, eating a giant chocolate chip cookie. Something that Shadehedda probably has never tasted before in his life.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Smart guy.
Do you want to maybe go through a couple of our issues?
Why do I have to be the issues person?
Okay, what did you
Why can't I
enjoy?
just say the things that I may have liked and may have not liked?
Okay.
Jeez, painting me as the bad cop. Oh, I have thoughts on that too. Anyway.
Oh, boy.
So, yes, I also had kind of issues starting off with the episode. It sort of felt like a retread of sorts. Like, oh no, radiation, malfunctions, oh no, divisions among the groups.
Yeah.
Okay. But the stakes of, Amori also having kind of a timeline, and Murphy and his cockroachiness, but also a greater sense of morality. Mm-hmm. Raven losing her sense of morality.
She is now a false god, taken off of her pedestal.
Yeah, I've been rooting for it. I've been waiting for this to happen. I've been hoping for it because, she can be a bit...
Especially last
preachy.
season.
Yeah, that was not not a huge fan of Raven last season.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry that she murdered people.
But yay!
But welcome to the club of the rest of your friends.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, like you, I love that trio.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of, again, also sadistically enjoyed, her being like, yes, beat me up, I deserve it. It felt very Clark.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like the talks that Gaia...
We're very Bellamy too, actually.
That's true. Yeah, basically all of our leaders. So she's a true leader now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also liked Gaia and Clark. Mm-hmm. But it similarly kind of felt like the first speech that their first conversation in burying the flame and the ring were kind of equal to the last conversation they had.
In the premiere.
Well, the premiere, but I mean their conversation at the start of the episode and at the end of the episode where Guy's drinking her tea and Russell's already not going to be executed. Mm-hmm. It just felt, I know it's supposed to be bookends. Yeah. But it again kind of just felt like
retreading
the same dialogue.
That's interesting because I enjoy their chemistry enough that I didn't really notice that. But now that you say it, what new did we really get from that second discussion? The first one, you get the power and the emotion of her saying goodbye to her mother, and the guy of the flame,
to your loss.
Yeah, but you're also right that even the second discussion where they're talking about who am I now without the flame is a lot of what we already heard from the premiere. I think we got a little bit more information, and I enjoyed that. I think also to some degree those scenes were kind of hurt by the trailer. Well, the two bookends, because we got like the main emotional gists of both ends of them from the trailer.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think that, yes, this episode suffered from the fact that it felt like a lot of things that we've seen before, which also stands in such sharp contrast to last week, which felt so different. And I think it's a very interesting thing that they chose to have these two episodes be so separate. That I thought maybe we'd get like a couple things. Like I thought it would be very much a C-plot, but I thought we might get a little bit back on the Skyring. I think the thing that saved the episode for me was that the radiation problem was dealt with in a single episode.
Yes.
So it became about a character thing rather than being like, the world's gonna blow up again, which was very frightening at the beginning of the episode.
It was. And not in the way of like, I'm afraid for their lives. It was like, do we have to be afraid for their lives for more than one episode? Yeah, it turned into a character thing. And I mean, they made the prisoners interesting again.
I think, I was kind of blown away by how much I actually enjoyed Hatch. Because I was not a huge fan of him in the premiere, and they do a good job of introducing people and making me care about them.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
On the one hand, yes, they did a really good job making us invested in the Allegis people. On the other hand, there's that group of people who leave one crew led by Knight from Sangetta crew. And, they name his character, but I don't know how interested I am in that plot, or if it's even going to be a plot or just a device for destroying one crew and again having divisions.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's worth noting that he was kind of pro Shade Hedda, so I can see that factoring into the whole Shade Hedda thing. I mean, here's the thing. I'm very torn because I'm like, okay, so I see the seeds of Shade Hedda, right? Where it's like, he could probably get at least half of one crew on his side and the Prime people on his side.
The still religious believers.
And like, so he can start building an army and be kind of a formidable threat where it's like, well, what do? We don't even have that many people on our side. Now the Allegis people don't like them probably either. So it's like, that creates a threat level. But at the same time, I'm just like, but I don't care about Shade Hedda, and I've yet to meet someone who does. I'd be interested if, especially now, this is probably his best episode. Are people starting to care more, or are they just like, but what about the anomaly? We already have Anders out there. That already seems more exciting.
Yeah.
So.
Especially if Shade Hedda is still also pretending to be Russell and then meets Anders, who may have also been from an Allegis mission. Like, it might be like this Russian nesting doll of like just evil cult leaders.
I hope they have like a good plan for J.R. Bourne and what becomes of all this, because I don't want to end up feeling like, oh, well, we just really liked working with this actor, so we kept him around. I don't know. It's a little worrying how separate the two plots feel, the Sanctum and the Anomaly stuff. And that said, I'm really excited about the promo for next week, where it seems like things are colliding.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. Again, I feel like this was a transition episode, but while the like radiation malfunction and Team Cockroach being like the new information and the instigator for character development, I do feel like the actual Sanctumite plot was just something that could have been wrapped up in the premiere, and we could have maybe gotten to episode 4 faster.
Yeah, I mean, it's all complicated because I'm like, I think the way that they ended the premiere was so strong, and that we needed to say goodbye to Russell before we could start with the Shade Hedda thing. I just think that there was a little bit too much of like, yeah, he's still in chains. Now we're sending Jordan again to be the one to talk to. Like, it was a little bit too repetitive, I think. But I mean, getting back to what I liked, I really did enjoy. I think I really felt the heart pounding like fear of Amori going through and doing that.
Yeah, it was terrible, but also great that I was afraid for one of our main casts again.
And it's like, oh, this is the final season. we don't know. They could have killed. I mean, we've probably been a little silly to think something like that would happen. But even killing off Hatch,
she's not in the title.
Yeah, even killing off Hatch though was like kind like by the midway through the episode we kind of saw it coming. But like I wouldn't have expected that from the premiere, right?
Yeah.
And the one thing I'm nervous about is like they did such a good job setting him up. Nikki still seems very like McCreary-y. And so he was the more interesting of the two, and I hope that they find a way to have an emotional resonance from her instead of her just being like, now she's continuing to always be at a 10 of anger.
And revenge. Yeah. I hope that they see what they're doing. I'm going to be cautiously optimistic for once in my life because, again, they did such a good job with Hatch that it makes me hope that they will give her the same amount of attention.
Well, and the thing is, she did have legitimate points about how they were being treated and stuff like that, which also adds to me feeling like, Russell Shade has things he could offer them pretty easily to, all he has to do is treat them a little bit more humanely than one crew and they're jumping ship, right?
Yeah, so, that's very true. They get to live in the castle.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how they either wrap up the Sanctum stuff or how they continue to have it going on and still be interesting while you have other characters going to other planets and things like that.
Yep.
Like, we know Clark's leaving, so what is if you don't even have Clark at Sanctum, why do we care about Sanctum going forward? I'm interested to see how they handle that.
Well, no, Jordan's probably going to leave too. Yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah, if Jordan, Raven, and Clark all leave, I mean, it would be great to have, I love Murphy and Amori, but that's not going to be enough for me to
I'm afraid for them, Daniel and Kaylee, because I was also hoping that would be wrapped up, but I guess not.
Well, we'll see.
All in all, I think it was a transitional episode.
Yeah, I think it was really about
a good enough thing at this point in the season.
I think here's the thing is, I think the first 3 episodes, in a lot of ways, not trying to take away from the good parts of them, but it almost feels like, okay, next episode is the season starting because we had 16 episodes. We have 16 episodes. These first 3, now you're back to your normal 13. And it's like, it really feels like we were putting all the pieces in place. And not to say that, I know a lot of people loved the last episode, but even that was very exposition heavy. And so we have a lot of pieces we understand over here. We have a lot of and I think that's why this episode was about setting up Raven's arc for the season. Now I think is where things are going to start popping off a little bit more.
Yeah, it was a 3-part premiere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that, I guess.
I'm interested to see where it goes. Before we end out, I do just want to circle back and say, again, I really did enjoy the Clark and Gaia stuff. I am very unclear where they're going with it. Again, it could just be, hey, they made some good friendship times here.
I've been cheering on positive female friendships on this show since season 2. Yeah. So,
yeah,
we'll see.
and I'm also just interested where they're gonna take Gaia just as herself, right? Because
she doesn't know what she wants.
Talking about putting all the pieces on the table, right? We had Echo be like, "Who the fuck am I?" Gaia is saying, "Who the fuck am I?" So I'm excited to find out those answers. And
I'm sure they are too.
Yeah. And I'm glad that Gaia is getting more because that actress is awesome.
Yeah, Tati Gabrielle can handle it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Check back Monday for the100podcast.com. It's a great way to get all of our audio podcasts. We have links all over there. Also down below in the description, we will have links to things like Apple Podcasts and Spotify and all that stuff. Leave your comments down below or go to the 100 podcast over on Twitter. And we'll see you next time. May we meet again.